When I think too much about this problem, it's too hard for me. I don't even think my wife knew what I'm suffering.
Luis Daniel is still traumatized by the events that forced him off his land more than 6 years ago. He was obliged to leave his farm behind and everything he had worked for.
About 40% of the families here are displaced. They have lived in this settlement, in these conditions, for the past 10 years. Here there are many families who fled from the province of Colombia because of the violence.
Like Luis Daniel, most of the 2.5 million displaced in Colombia come from rural areas. They fled to towns and cities in search of more security, but were not equipped to make a living there, and many now long to return to the countryside. It's estimated that over 5 million hectares of land have been lost to the conflict in Colombia. It's through a new project that aims to restore some of the displaced to their land that Luis Daniel and several other families are now petitioning the government for new plots. Gloria Herrera is one of the fortunate ones. She and 100 other families have recently obtained plots in an area called Las Palmas. Her family was twice displaced from their farm and cannot return because of the violence. She and her husband were unable to adapt to the city. They couldn't find work and struggled to support the family. They are extremely happy to be farming again.
I like the countryside because I was brought up in the country, and here I know how to fend for myself. In the town, you can starve. More than once I went to bed having had just a coffee all day.
So far, 100,000 hectares of land have been allocated to the displaced. The land project is only a first step towards helping some of the millions of displaced to regain some of their independence and also their rights.
Let's say that most of the people that are now displaced were originally peasants. So the fact they can recover the lands they lost or have the possibility to be relocated is fundamental. It's fundamental for the social economic stability of these families.
However, there are still many obstacles. The numbers of displaced keep growing each year. In 2007, there were 250,000 new cases of forced displacement. The process of restoring the land is long and often costly for the displaced themselves. They must organize their own cooperatives before the request can be considered. For the small percentage who have obtained land, it's often in isolated areas that have no infrastructure, no water, electricity, health clinics, or schools. The children living in the Las Palmas settlement are now going to a makeshift school. Their teachers are two young people who have not yet finished school themselves. But the families feel the children need education, and this is the best they can do for now.
The mothers were worried when they saw the children were falling behind. So they met and they chose us as teachers to care for the kids in nursery school and first, second, third, fourth, and fifth grade. And this is what we've been doing since 1 month.
Despite the hardships, these displaced families feel that going back to their land is their only choice. They have lived in slums in towns and cities throughout Colombia, but now they want to reclaim the land that was taken from them. Gloria Herrera says no matter what happens, she would never return to the city again.
I don't want to leave this place. If they take me out, it will be in a box. God put me here, and it will be God who will take me out.